Yeah. Got it.
The Buzz, your music news update for the latest on your favorite artists and more. Sponsored by JoJoMacMusic.com. Hello, everyone. I am Pistol, and this is The Buzz. Martin Williams, a member of the 1967 Festival Song Contest winners, the Jamaicans, died on May 24th in New York City at the age of 85. His wife, Jean Williams, said he passed away at the Montefiore Hospital in the Bronx. Williams was a founding member of the group, which was initially known as the Miracles. The original lineup formed in 1964 and comprised Errol Kong, later known as Icon, Norris Weir, and Keith Brown. Tommy Cohen joined later. Prior to the Miracles, the Matthews Lane-raised Williams performed in the duo Martin and Derek. Their songs included Times Are Going. His biggest success came with the Melodians, which recorded mainly for producer-author Duke Reed's Treasure Eye label. Their hits came on rock-steady songs like Things You Say You Love and Ba Ba Boom. Martin Williams migrated to the United States 5 years ago. He's survived by Jean, his wife of 61 years, 7 children, several grand and great-grandchildren. Renowned singer Jimmy Tucker passed away peacefully at his home in Fayetteville, Georgia. He was 80 years old. Tucker's wife of 53 years, Janet, confirmed his death. She said he was surrounded by family when he passed. According to his widow, the singer's health had seen a slight decline in recent times. Jimmy Tucker was one of Jamaica's early child stars. He became a household name, performing patriotic songs which instilled national pride. Tucker emerged in the 1940s from Trenchtown in Kingston from a talented family. He's uncle to former child star come preacher Junior Tucker and singer Sharon Tucker. He's also uncle to Marlon Tucker, Jamaica's most successful cricket captain. During the 1950s, Jimmy Tucker performed in clubs, schools, and churches. During that period, he performed music written by Clyde Hoyt, including Have Faith and Sweet as a Dream. In January, Tucker was one of 10 recipients of the Musgrave Medal Award at a virtual event. He received a silver medal and was lauded as Jamaica's first singing sensation. Jimmy Tucker is also survived by son Jonathan, James, and daughter Carla Duncan. Dancehall artist Skeng faces charges of resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. Skeng was scheduled headliner for Adoration alongside Chanel Muir and Young Breda, set for Friday, May 27th. In Guyana, he was booked to perform at the East Side Revival Return of Dancehall Festival at Ranch Setters in Valencia, Trinidad, on Saturday the 28th, as well as at Space Nightclub in San Fernando on Sunday the 29th. According to police reports, the 21-year-old DJ, whose given name is Kevon Douglas, was involved in a confrontation with officials at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston. During the incident, he was allegedly pepper sprayed by the police. Skeng was granted bail in his own surety and is expected to appear at the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court in Halfway Tree. On June 21st, Skeng joins a list of entertainers who have had run-ins with the law in recent years. Beanie Man, Elephant Man, and Quada have appeared in court on various charges. Jacure in the Netherlands, Ninja Man, Laden, and Tommy Lee Sparta were all convicted on charges from attempted murder to illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Skeng is known for the hit single Protocol with Tommy Lee Sparta, Heaven Passport with Intense, Gunman Shift, and Street Cred. A judge shot down an attempt by Donahue Martin, the attorney representing local music producer Shab Don, to have his client's passport returned. Shab Don, whose given name is Linval Thompson Jr., is charged with breaching the Corruption Prevention Act following his arrest last October. It is alleged that he offered $2 million to a cop to remove an illegal firearm from his gray Mercedes-Benz before it was searched by investigators. Thompson, 31, is currently on $450,000 bail with at least 2 sureties. He was ordered to surrender his travel documents and a stop order was imposed. He was also ordered to report to the police 3 times per week. According to Martin, because of the nature of his work arrangements, his client needed his physical passport even if he's not traveling. I am Pistol, and that, my friends, was The Buzz. That was The Buzz, your music news update for the latest on your favorite artists and more. Sponsored by JoJoMacMusic.com.
Now here's a song from our sponsor, JoJo Mac.
We're in the fight for life and love. We're rising up, and some people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and they want us to flop. We have to hold on to the ball and let it drop. Fight for our lives out in the streets. Why do it confronted on every beat? They call it law and order, but that's not how I see it. I see my people dying, now I know why they do it. We fight for our souls. It's a factor. The rainbow's gold. It's so hard to get to. Some people think this fight is getting really old, but the war never stops, so we get bold. We're rising up. Some people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and want us to flop. We have to hold on to the ball and let it dry. We're rising up, and some people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and want us to flop. We have to hold on to the ball and let it dry. We can't give up. There's too much to fight for. We break our backs every day and what for? So they can play, make us their prey. And everything we want, we have to ask for. Some say they have to read more to deal with us. Isn't the fact that we're human beings enough? We have to get woke. There's more than just smoke. There's a place in fire. We're rising up. And people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and they want us to flop. We have to hold on to the ball and let it drop. We're rising up. Some people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. Want us to flop. You have to hold on to the ball and let it drop. Being yourself is the best that could happen, but you're led to believe it's a problem. Faced with tribulation due to the color of our skin, faced with desecration, this is where we're living. Yeah. We're in the fight for life, you know. We're rising up, and some people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and want us to flop. Yeah, yeah. We're in the fight for life, you know. Yeah. We're in the fight for life, you know. We're rising up. People don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and want us to flop. We all like to carry the ball, can't let it drop. We're in the fight for life, you know. We're in the fight for life. We're in the fight for life, you know.
Wow, the great JoJo Mac is our guest on the Raising the Awareness show, today being Sunday, and we've moved our show from Thursday to Sunday. Can you hear me, Sharon?
I can hear you, but you're sounding a little garbly for whatever reason.
I know the internet is messing up here. Can you hear me, JoJo?
Yeah, I can hear you, but like Sharon said, there's a little, distortion, slight.
Right. Let me see if I can amend that in real time as I speak to you now. So how do I sound now? Same?
Pretty much, but we can hear you.
Okay. So thank you, JoJo, for being here, my sister.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And this is our second time you've been on our show. The first time you came on our show was many moons ago.
Yeah. Around about 2015 or so, right? 2016 maybe before that. Yeah.
Good one.
Time flies, huh?
Yes.
Seemed like yesterday.
For real.
Time flies.
Sharon Mango, that's my sister. I've known her for many years, and we're now working together. She's my co-host, and she's here.
I am here because JoJo Mac is here, and we're so excited.
Hey, Sharon, I love that name, Mango. Mango.
Yes,
Julie.
I know. Any which way you want, Julie, East Indian, Trini, any which way you want.
I like East Indian Sharon Mango, yes.
Well, I'm fortunately blessed because, you know, that's my married name, of course. So my husband is Mango, so it's a real thing. So I have to capitalize on that now because people say, is that really your name? Is that stage name? Yes, it's my name. It's Sharon Mango, it works.
Mango is a good thing.
Mango's a good thing. Yes, it is.
JoJo Mac is the darling of our industry.
Yes, she is.
Really. I told her.
I wish everyone thought so like you do.
Oh, you are, child. If nobody don't know, everybody might know about it today. You don't know about her? You know about it.
I can only speak my truth, you know. I've been telling her, even up to yesterday, I said, if anybody matches up to my favorite food, right, they are the creme de la creme. And you can't have creme weme the creme in it.
So what is your favorite food?
Ackee and saltfish.
Oh, your favorite food? Okay. Everyone loves ackee and saltfish.
Give me ackee, saltfish, and callaloo any time of the day.
Oh, yes. Sometimes we eat all three together.
Absolutely.
And you know, when you eat all three and you feel belly full, you're like, yes. That is JoJo Mac.
Yes.
We consume your music and it's like, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, a lot of the music that I make is from my label now. And you know, when I first started out, it wasn't so grand. I was just getting when I started producing myself, I didn't quite get the gist of it, but I think I've grown into my space now where the music is concerned.
Right.
That is fabulous.
We're going to speak about the length and breadth of who you are and what you're doing. I'm going to let Sharon come in, introduce herself and do her thing. Because Sharon, you are going to lead.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, yes, I am Sharon Mango, representing SBRB Radio and Royal Blend Productions. And we are so honored to have you here today, Miss JoJo Mac.
Thank you.
You look good. I sit on your throne right now, your job. Nice.
She look fresh.
She look fresh, man.
I bathed for you guys. I bathed for you. I took a shower for you.
Yes, it's awesome. For us, yes. Well, bless you, my friend. Bless you. And thank you for coming on the show. We're very excited to have you. We're so excited to get into your whole...
Sorry to interrupt you, Sharon. We have iPhone in the building. I'm not sure who that is, but it seems like they're connecting to the source. I'm not too sure who that is, but anyway, bless up whoever that is.
Yeah, connecting to.
But yes, continue, girl.
Yes, as I was saying, we are so honored to have you here today. We're going to get into your life. We're here to celebrate you today, my sister. We are here to celebrate you because you represent us all your doings, what you're doing. It represents us as strong Black women, and I love it. So we're here to celebrate you today, and I'm so excited.
Thank you. I'm excited too to be here.
Yes. Alongside my longtime partner, my friend from school. I always share the tidbit. He's my friend from school. We go way back.
Wow.
And as far as much as yes, you have to salute, man. And I'm in the US, he's in the UK, but it works. You know what I'm saying? He's my lifelong friend. He's a good friend.
Where are you, in New Jersey, right?
I am in New Jersey.
And he's in the UK. See, I'm repping from Man United, see.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah, even though I'm a big fan of Sterling from Man City, but I couldn't wear both hats today.
I'm with you.
Okay. Yes.
Sharon, do you think, girl? Do you think?
Well, my friend, wait, where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Philly.
Oh, she's a crap. Do you mean to tell me, sir?
I'm next door to you, baby.
Listen, she's right. Me could have well go out yard and be like, let's go on this thing. You could have come to the house. I just want to come in. You make any breakfast this morning? Me coming in. We're going to do the interview at your house. She's next door, literally. This is wonderful. That's
and you would have gotten ackee and saltfish.
Yes,
I'm jealous now, just at the thought of that.
Oh, yes, I could have well do with that right now. Ooh, yes. Well, my love, we want to take you on a little journey. And we want to know, like, where you were born, your mom, your dad, brothers, sisters, like your humble beginnings. Who is JoJo Mac? And where did she come from?
Okay. Well, let me start with all of that. That's a lot to start with. Well, I'm from Clarendon, Jamaica. Okay. A little place outside of Kellett's called Coxone. See, they say Coxone got its name because the women there were so beautiful, they still are, that the men used to say, come see the beautiful women over here. So they named the place Coxone.
Oh, really?
Okay, so yeah, it's supposed to be famous for beautiful ladies, you know. Right. You know.
I gotta go see that place.
Yeah, you know, you got to go. That's the place you to go.
So, I was actually born in Linstead, at Linstead Hospital, actually.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
They said I started coming out at Coxone, but I was very stubborn. So they had to, finish the job at Linstead Hospital. So, yeah, I grew up in Clarendon, with very, very, very religious and conscious family, who taught me to cross my legs, and say yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
They taught me from early on how to use knife and fork, that kind of family. And so, I'm just a country girl, who embrace my countryness.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that's basically, JoJo Mac, a little girl from Coxone. Yeah. Who love to do so many things, the writing, the singing, the whole stuff that I know we're going to get into. So
so you come from a musical household? I know you had to go to church.
I grew up in church. And that's where I started singing in church.
Okay.
Since I was 3 years old. But no, my family was not a musical family. My father's side of family, they had sound system like early on in the community. My mother's side, was mainly the church going side. And so I grew up with both sides of the family. So, I was blessed because they live like blocks apart and so I get to enjoy both grandmas and everything all in one. So, yeah. But no, there wasn't any music so much in my family, except that there was always music playing in the house.
Right.
Like our living room was huge, and there were like vinyls, like LPs all around the walls, just lined up against the wall in the living room. And I was the only kid that always just get up and go play some music and sit by the stereo all day playing music. So yeah, my mom would play music every Sunday. Every Sunday, the neighbors would be listening to our music play, blasting the door open and everything. Yeah, so that's the bulk of the music in the family.
So school now, tell me about school. What kind of student were you in school?
All right. I like that. I was one of those students who was a prefect, who was monitor, who was in the debate club, who, head of the debate club, who was in the 4-H, who played tennis. I was that student.
Yeah, you could tell because you exude the power already. You know what I'm saying? You're always in charge.
Leader.
She's a leader.
I remember when I was leaving school and one of my English teacher, she gave, you take photos at the end of the year and everybody was giving out photos and she wrote at the back of her photo, a bunch of stuff, but this resonate more than anything. She said, you were always a leader, never a follower, never change. Yeah, and that's who I was. If we were getting in trouble, I was the one leading the trouble. Yeah, because I never follow people. To this day, I don't follow people. I'm the leader. I like being the leader. Mm-hmm. So you got that right.
Yes. So did you go to school in Jamaica or did you come, was it the US? Where was most of
I went to school in Jamaica. Yeah.
Okay. And you left?
I went to Dodd Technical High School. Mm-hmm. I came here in the late 80s,
To the US?
Yes.
Okay. So you moved with your family here.
Yes.
How old were you when you came here?
Sharon, man.
But just I said, Paul talking, I'm not drag out history. Come on, look how good you look. You're 21 now. You look 21.
Let me block my ears. I'm not listening.
All right, so you was 15 when you come, all right. And then I hear you, look at the end of something buzz.
Two, Sharon, two, okay? Two.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I thought I was gonna get some juice just now. I'm like,
I know, right? No. You shut it down quick. I mean, what age? What are you talking about age? Me said me did come here.
Right?
Even better, you ask that question rather than me.
It's better me than ask the question for true. So we're gonna say then. So JoJo, when you came to the US, what did you aspire to be? Let's say that. When you came here, what did you aspire to be?
When I came here, because I was an A student all along, and when I came here, I told myself I wanted to do, to go into the news thing, I wanted to be on TV,
okay.
But the singing kept interrupting everything. The music kept coming to the forefront every time. I wouldn't hold on to a job because I would quit because I wouldn't have enough time to spend with my music. Right. So as soon as I get a job, I'd quit. So I'm like, no, I can't work because then I can't get to go sing when I want to, and I have to be, doing the stuff within their time frame. And I wanted to do stuff within my time frame. Mm-hmm. So one of the first things I did was started a band. I put out a little ad in the Washington Post, and yes, and auditioned at my mom's, and got my little band started. At first, it was named JoJo and the Cosmos. No, Goldie, because I was Goldie then. Goldie and the Cosmos.
Okay.
And it just sounded like a bunch of old men. So,
the Cosmos, wow.
The Cosmos. Then I changed it. Yes, we played, with that name for a while, and then I decided on the name Renaissance, and that was the name I kept until I, changed my name to Goldie and moved from Washington. So, yeah, my band was Renaissance Band. Oh, okay. But, in Washington, I didn't only sing. Another thing that came into the way of my music was I was a businesswoman in that I ran my own nightclub and restaurant, and also my own hair salon. And
yes.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a nice little. The first club I ran was DC Civic Center, Symbolic House, and that was in the early 90s. And then we had a restaurant called and club called Roof Reggae Cafe. And after that, I decided, you know what, I want to do something that will bring some money in that I don't have to spend too much time in, so I can go chase the music again. So the music came back into play, and I opened a hair salon.
Okay.
I didn't intend to open a hair salon, actually. I was going to beauty school. I'm a beauty school dropout, right? I was going to beauty school, and in my first 6 months, I was in the classroom, and then we had to come out on the floor where we start actually doing hair. And they told us, you need to go find a salon to work in and be a shampoo girl. So I went to all these salons, even people who I know very well that I would go to their salon and help them, didn't want to hire me as a shampoo girl. Like, oh, we don't have any space. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to pay me. I just want the credits, And they still wouldn't let me. So I got mad and opened my own salon.
Oh, look at that, see?
So,
she's a leader.
Things happen for a reason.
That's for a reason. But just real quick, I did that too. The beautician, I did it. But I couldn't. Yeah, I went to beauty school as well. I did the whole thing. So yeah.
Oh, you could actually do hair.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm not that good at it. I can sew in some weave and wash some dreads and things like that, and do some old people who don't mind some, ordinary curls. But I just helped the others. I did my hair washing there. I was a shampoo girl at my salon. Who helped everybody, because I wasn't that good. I would have to apologize when I do somebody's hair, like for real. Like, oh, I'm so sorry.
That's funny. But no, I was good at hair. But anyway, back to you.
Yeah, so I realized that, one of the main reasons for the salon too was not just because I couldn't get, to do shampoo hair, but I figured it would be a good way for me to have an income while I chase the music. Okay. But I found that I got stuck in it because you couldn't trust people the way you wanted to. And, I stepped out of it for a couple of weeks, and lawsuits were coming at me because people were doing things to people that they shouldn't have. And so I was stuck in that place. So I decided to give it up. I gave it up. I packed my stuff up and I went to Florida so I could be close to Jamaica, because now they're telling me Jamaica is a place you need to be if you want to make it. So I packed up, went to Florida. Then I spent almost 2 years in Jamaica. And it took me to where I met Coxone Dodd.
All right.
Legendary Coxone Dodd.
The legendary Coxone. All right. So what happened? How did you actually meet him, though?
Okay. See, I was in Jamaica for a while, almost a year, trying to work with other producers. That wasn't working out for me. So one day, just before I was ready to come back to the US, being frustrated and everything, I decided, you know what, I'm going to come back to the US and take it from there. I went up to Freddie McGregor's studio, Big Ship, because a friend of mine was up there doing some work, and I'm like, let me run up there and say hello and hang out and see what happens. So I decided to go up there that day, and there was this man outside under a tree just singing his heart out, and he sounded so great. And I'm like, but that looks like Ernest Wilson, and I ran from inside and, in the engineer room, and I went outside and I just started harmonizing with him and everything. And I'm like, are you Ernest Wilson? And he said, yes. And he says, well, you have a sweet voice. And, I'm there singing because I want Ernest Wilson to hear that, I got a voice. And when we finished singing, he said to me, I reminded him that when I was a little girl going to high school, I used to stop by Aquarius Records in the evenings, and he would be on the piano playing. And he would play stuff and I would sing. And then they're like, oh, you were that little girl? You used to give me your lunch money. Yeah. He told me he says that all the time. He said he used to give me your lunch money to go buy food. And you used to go over to, he said, I remember you always go over to Skateland and buy things and come back and give me and, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, he said, you know what? You have a beautiful voice. Why don't I take you to meet Coxone Dodd? And I'm like, the Coxone Dodd, like Studio One Coxone Dodd? And he was like, yes. He said, he wrote the address down and he said, meet me there tomorrow at 12. I was there at 11:58 at the gate.
Of course.
Yes, I was at the gate at 11:58. And, you know, normally, I don't know, normally you can't just knock on at the gate and go in. It's drama just to get inside a Coxone Dodd studio, not the yard, much less the studio. But I guess they saw me look like a trustworthy girl or something. They let me ride in and I went inside and Mrs. Dodd was sitting at her desk in the front. You know, Mrs. Dodd is a guard, but keep everybody away from Coxone Dodd. He decides who gets to see Coxone Dodd. Yes. So I remember Merlene Weber was there, so was Jennifer Laura and some of the other guys that sang for them before. So I went and I said to her, I introduced myself and I said, you know, I'm Goldie. At the time I was still calling myself Goldie. And I said, you know, I'm Goldie. Ernest Wilson said he wanted me to meet Mr. Dodd. So he asked me to meet him here. And she told me, she said, sit down. And her and I just got into conversation. We kept talking. Within 10 minutes, she said, hold on. And she, you know, she went to the back and she came back out and she said, come, let me take you to see Mr. Dodd. Everybody was shocked because they're like, Mrs. Dodd is not so open arm for anybody, like especially women, you know?
Right, of course.
Yeah, so she sent me back there to see Mr. Dodd. And, you know, I told Mr. Dodd the story again. Ernest wanted to introduce me to him and whatever. But Ernest was late. And so Mr. Dodd says, so you have something for me to hear? What you sound like? I had a CD in my hand, but I didn't even think about it. I just started making up a song in my head and start singing, right? So halfway through the song I was making up, Mr. Dodd said, all right, go back and sit out there with Mrs. Dodd, and, you know, when Ernest come, we'll talk.
Okay.
And when Ernest came, there wasn't much talking, because when Ernest came, Mr. Dodd called me back in the studio and he said, listen to this beat. You think you can sing to that? And I'm like, oh yeah, I think so. I can write something to it real quick. I had a whole book of stuff that I had written, like about 30 or 40 songs that I wrote that I took to Jamaica with me. But when I listened to that song, I didn't think to go to the book either. Okay. I just started singing and writing a song. Like in 15-20 minutes I wrote my first song, and that day, within 2 hours of meeting him, 2-3 hours, I made my first song for Coxone Dodd.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
How did that song go?
You know, I don't remember which one was the first one, but I'm thinking that might be a song named Pony. I was thinking about riding some kind of pony, right? And, you know, I ended up doing 22 songs for him, right?
Did you?
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, in 8 months. I worked there 8 months, 5 days a week for 8 months.
Wow.
And while I was working with him, the only other people that got a chance to even work in the studio was the people from Alpha Boys School, the band. They were the only ones. He wouldn't allow anybody else to do any work. As soon as I got there, everybody had to clear the studio and it's my turn.
Wow.
And what he actually wanted to do was he started doing an album with me and Ernest Wilson, a duets album, because that's what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to do a duets album with me and Ernest Wilson. So we actually recorded 5 songs with me and Ernest. And Ernest was not showing up for the rest. We couldn't see him coming. So Mr. Dodd decided, you know what? I'm just going to do an album with you. So after we did about 16 or so songs, here comes Horace Andy And Horace Andy wanted to do a song with me because he heard what I was doing with them. And, you know, Mr. Dodd, you know, said, all right, let's do a song. And he asked me if I had something that me and Horace could do. And I'm like, yeah, definitely. And we did a song called Sweetest Love together. Okay. So after it was done and he listened to it, he said, Mr. Dodd, would I love to do another song with her, you know, right? So Mr. Dodd was like, you have something in mind? And he was like, well, I was thinking of writing something. And you know, Mr. Dodd, he calls everybody Jackson, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
I heard that actually.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, he said, Jackson, I think you should let her write the next song, you know, because our pen's stronger than yours. And I always have to talk about that because coming from Coxone, that anything about a Coxone Dad more I have to repeat because he was an amazing man. Yes. Mrs. Dodd and him, they were amazing to me. They treat me like I was their little baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They gave me, Mr. Dodd gave me my own driver that takes me back and forth every day. As a matter of fact, one of my my first driver was Bounty Killer's dad. They call him Breezer.
Wow.
Yes. And then Mr. Dodd decides, you know, Breezer look for me sideways. So I decided to change Breezer. Yeah.
He looked out for you. He looked out for you. He looked out for you.
Yeah, he was very protective of me. He made sure that I wasn't needing or wanting anything. They made sure I always had money. You know what I mean? They took really good care of me.
Wow. So during those times now, you're writing all these songs. Are you registering them? Who's registering your music at that time?
All right. At that time, I didn't even know about the registering thing too tough. So, you know, I signed a little contract with Mr. Dodd and everything. And, you know, didn't know nothing about no registering no songs. It was later on that I learned, you know, that this is what you need to do, you know. But after 5 years, I could get back the rights to those songs. It was in my contract.
Okay.
Less the beat. The lyrics were mine again and everything. So it wasn't so bad. And then later on, I learned about, you know, registering my stuff. I joined PRS and, you know, learn how to join Nielsen Sound Scan and, you know, all them little things and get myself, you know, familiar with the business end of things.
Right.
I don't know if learning about the business has done me much. Well, it works for me in that I know what to do with my music and how to own my things properly, right? But I remember one guy telling me I was trying to find a manager, and the man actually told me, said, JoJo Mac, nobody not gonna manage you because you know too much about the music.
I love
that.
I love that.
A producer told me that nobody's gonna want to manage me because I know too much about the business.
Wow.
That's good. That is a good thing. That is a blessing.
So they wanted you in the dark.
Yes. So he thinks I know too much, you know, but those are the same people that you hear saying, oh, the artists need to learn the business. No, but that's only talk. They don't want you to know.
Yeah.
So I would tell all the artists them out there who people are, you know, please learn the business, because if you don't learn the business, you give away your belly.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So yeah, that's been a problem for me, knowing too much.
Not a problem. That's a blessing. I'm afraid that's a blessing. They can't scam you. You're still a leader. That's wonderful. Leader. Yes.
And you know, and I'm not afraid to let other people know what I know. You know, there are a lot of people in the business who don't want to tell others what they know.
Right.
I don't have a problem letting other people know what I know, because we all should know the business we're in.
That's right. You're right. It's correct. Sister. Lord, we're gonna get into some things today. You hear the leader talk? Yes. 10 star, yes.
Muscles.
Muscles,
Muscles.
you see that? Power. I
Muscles.
love it.
See
Yes.
that?
Yes, sister.
Jojo, I tell you what, I love everything I've been hearing so far, you know. I want to drag you back though. I want to drag you back to when you left Jamaica, you hit America for the first time. What was that like for JoJo Mac?
Well, when I hit America the first time, well, the first day I came, the following day they had 12 inches of snow in Washington, D.C.
You want Jamaica back, right?
Yeah, I remember my mom gave us earmuffs and gloves and boots and go experience some, me and my sister, go experience some snow, go out there in the snow, make snowman. And I'm like, we never know about no snowman, right? And we went inside, we went out there for like 2 minutes, came back and shaking, and like, you know, because I'm still shaking to this day, because I still haven't gotten used to it.
Right.
But when I first came here, you know, all I really wanted to do was sing. I just knew that I wanted to sing, and mostly I sang in R&B clubs and stuff like that. I sang at hotels and stuff with piano and all of that, you know, the piano player. That was my thing, because I was singing mostly R&B. Even when I was in Jamaica learning to, you know, just to be a singer, that was what I was into, the R&B. Right. I wasn't into reggae at all. So reggae came for me later. You know, I used to enter contests. I won a lot of contests and stuff, you know, where, you know, you get, where you win trips and things, then you find out, say, you have to pay certain things for the trips yourself. So I'm going to end up doing them, you know? Yeah. And then most of the trips,
share with us one of those contests that you actually entered into.
Okay, there was one. I'm going to tell you about one that was at a place in Virginia. I think it was called the Dome in Virginia. It's a club where it goes around in circle. The room moves around in a circle. So you'll be at one end half an hour ago, and the next half hour you're at another end, because it keeps moving around. Yeah. So they call it the Dome, and it was a predominantly white club, and I sang Vesta's "Congratulations, I thought it would have been you."
Yes.
Or me, or whatever, that song, right? Yeah. And man, I remember 4 white women. And I keep saying white women because, you know, I said white purposely, because they've been my biggest supporters, white people. Mm-hmm. Yes, they have. Right. And the 4 white women came on the stage and they were hugging me and literally crying. I won that contest. Wow. Yeah, I won that contest. And that is the feedback I get from people, you know, that crowd when I sing. When I sing for a white crowd, they embrace me, they love it, they scream, they cry. And I don't get that from my black people too much. Them just lead up against a wall and watch, and them
I don't know what that's about, but you're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Them just lead up and like, are you that?
Yeah.
You have some. You have some that will come and say, "Wow, we enjoy your show," but a lot of them will just stand there and you don't know if they're feeling you or not. But with the white crowd, yes, I see it, I feel it. They give me that energy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What did you deduce from that performance? What is it you learned from that performance overall?
Well, what I learned from that, and it's good you asked that question, because that was the day I realized that, you know, I can touch people with my singing. Mm-hmm. That was the day I realized that I can affect people in a positive way. Right. Mm-hmm. You know, because those tears, even if they weren't tears of joy, it brought something out in those people. Yeah. And I realized that if I sing with a certain passion, I can engage them.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I guess from what I'm hearing from you, especially from that particular performance where people reacted to you, that you felt within you, right? I'm asking now, is that what dictated how you move forward in the music industry? Because when I look at JoJo Mac, I wouldn't say you are a predominantly reggae artist. I would say you are more of you add a little bit of fusion, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know what I mean? It kind of like world music.
Well, I call myself a pop reggae artist.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of pop infused in my music, also a little bit of rock. You know, I think I was born to be a rock star.
Hey.
But where did that stem? Where did it stem from, though?
Maybe it's from the music I used to listen when I was a little girl.
Right.
You know, the music that used to be played at home in my house.
Right.
And you know, in Jamaica back in the day, I didn't hear a lot of reggae on the stations. It was mostly American music.
True. That's true.
So that was what I gravitated to. Mm-hmm. And see, I wasn't one of those kids that got to go to the dance and stuff like that. I went to my first dance at 26 years old. And I was actually asking, you know, where are the chairs and tables?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So yeah, so it was always, I was always in the R&B space. That's when I learned to sing. Those are the songs I learned to sing. I started writing I started writing songs since I was 9 years old. And that's the kind of songs that I wrote.
Right. Right.
I wrote a song at 13 years old that I won a Tasty Talent contest with when I was 16.
Oh.
And you win.
I won, and I made history, as a matter of fact. I was the first person to ever win Tasty Talent contest with an original song.
Oh, wow. Look at
so
that.
You must get what, Tasty Patty for a year.
We get a whole heap of Tasty Patty. And yes, and I think it was $40 or $100. I got records from Gussie Clark's studio and some other places, but the main prize I did not get till this day. I was supposed to record a single with Tough Gong, and that never materialized.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was right after Nadine Sutherland won, you know?
Okay.
Yes.
I'm with you. Now, I want to come back to some of your influences. Who were your early influences that made you feel that you could do this?
Well, like I said, I was gravitating more towards R&B. So you had people like Diana Ross. You had people like Patti LaBelle and Miss with the Pips, Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight. Yeah.
And then later on, I was feeling like Marcia Griffiths and Cynthia Slash, you know. Yes.
Okay.
So those are some of my influences.
So now you're in the United States. You now get to work with people like Coxone, Dodd, and so forth. You've learned about the industry, the business side of things. Were you able to implement the business side with Coxone Dodd during your time with him?
No, because I didn't learn it then.
You didn't learn it then. Okay.
I didn't learn it then, but I was smart enough that when I got the contract to take it to a lawyer.
Okay. What did you learn from that?
She was a born leader. Go on, sister.
Say that again.
I'm eager to learn what happened thereafter, only because I know many who went through a particular phase, which I won't mention, but I'm just eager to learn from you.
Okay, well, working with Coxone Dodd, what happened was he put out a couple of singles, and I remember when I was leaving after 8 months of working with them, you know, and I went to say goodbye that day because I was leaving for America. and he gave me a big old hug, and he said to me, you know, when you came here, you brought a lot of sunshine, and you just light up the place, and you make everyone laugh, you make everyone happy, and I hope to keep you as happy as you made us. He said that to me. And I remember I went to the airport and I couldn't get on the plane because they said my ticket expired because I was there for almost 2 years, right?
Oh, jeez.
I had bought an open ticket and I didn't realize that after a year it would expire.
Yeah.
So I took my suitcase with me and I went down to Studio One because now I don't have any money to buy a new ticket. So I went back to Studio One and I told Mr. Dodd, my ticket expired. He didn't even question it. Him just roll out the dollars and say, all right, some money here for your new ticket, you know, and you can fly out tomorrow if you like. But yeah, Mr. Dodd took very good care of me. It was wonderful working there. At the time, I used to even smoke like weed, right?
Right.
And yes, they would make sure that I have my little spliff, you know, and everything.
All right. Mm-hmm.
You know, mm-hmm. Mrs. Dodd, I remember after I was there for like almost 6 months at Studio One, because by then I was in Jamaica much longer. Mrs. Dodd went to New York and she came back with a big bag of clothes for me. The kind of clothes that I like a sexy, barely dear things, you know. And she said, you know, I know you've been here for a while and you probably didn't get to do much more shopping and you probably want some new stuff. And she just bought Merlin Weber and all of them was like, what is it about you that made Mrs. Dodd gravitate to you so much? Mrs. Dodd don't do these things. Mm-hmm. But she was wonderful to me. She was giving me extra money when Mr. Dada gave me extra money too. And you know what I said? It's like she would slip me a little envelope and say, all right, put this in your bag. You know? Yeah, so they were both really nice to me. I don't have anything ill will or anything bad to say. I loved my time with Studio One. I loved Mr. Dodd. I love Mrs. Dodd. I love the energy, the whole thing. It's just that he passed before my album was released. And since then, the family, I guess, have been going through stuff legally, so nothing is being released from Studio One, at least not JoJo Mac.
Right. Now, some of the earlier works that you did with Coxone, they weren't released, were they? Or were they released?
There were two songs released. I did a cover song called Victim from Candi Staton that was released, and another song called Good Girl Go Bad. Mm-hmm. Those two were released on vinyl.
Mm-hmm. On vinyl, okay.
Those two
never
were released
digitally.
No, because the digital age was just coming into play. It wasn't there yet. It wasn't quite there yet. We were moving towards CDs at this time.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so the digital age wasn't there yet.
Now, I want to come to another element of the Studio One era in time. It was said that by many artists that those who were of a lighter shade of black were treated differently to those who were of a darker shade. Is that something that you experienced?
I don't even know. All I know is I wasn't paying attention to nobody else and what was going on with them. I was just there doing what I do. And like I said, there wasn't a lot of people coming there doing any work while I was there. I was the one they were focusing on at the time because Mr. Dodd even did an interview with the newspapers and said, this is a new era of Studio One and I'm his new Marcia Griffiths.
Okay.
So that's where it was taking the whole thing, you know, and most of the guys that were coming through were guys that recorded for him in the 70s. They would come and get a check. Every Friday, you see them come and kind of pile up and everybody, I get them like a check in them envelope or them dollars in the envelope and them gone. So they would come around a lot and get their money that way, you know?
Right.
So I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying I don't know about anybody else, but I was treated really well. I was given a lot. I was taken care of by Mr. Dodd.
Right. So as you move forward from Coxone Dodd, what was the next step for you in progressing with your musical career?
Well, after I cried my eyes out,
Oh.
you know, due to the fact that he passed after all that work, and then it seemed like everything was just going down the drain because nothing was coming out. And we're talking about me working with him in 2001, 2002.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, and so I went back to Miami, and you know, I was just doing little shows here and there. I wasn't really connecting with anyone, really working with some local producers. But you know, after you work with Coxone Dodd, you kind of feel like some of the work you're doing is not even valid. You know what I mean? To be honest,
yeah, of course.
You know, like after Coxone Dodd, I needed to step up. You know, and I wasn't stepping up. I was doing shows, and you know, people were loving what I was doing, and stuff like that. And again, I was back into the R&B vibe at reggae shows. So I was doing reggae shows at the R&B shows at the reggae, R&B songs at the reggae shows, and people were loving it. Actually, as a matter of fact, I remember the first place I sang when I went to Florida was this lady. She had a club called W's, and they call her Lady W's. Someone took me to the club one night, and I was looking around, and I said to her, I asked to meet the owner, and I found out it was this beautiful lady, and I went up to her and I said, you know, I introduced myself. I said, my name. By this time, I named myself JoJo Mac, because I named myself JoJo Mac like a day after I met Coxone. The next day I went back and told him that, you know, I changed my mind. My name is now JoJo Mac. And it was like, that's a very strong name. I like it. Yes.
Really?
So he endorsed that name. So when I met this lady, I told her, I said, I'm JoJo Mac, and I'm a singer, and I'd love to perform at your club at some time. And I gave her my number and stuff, and, you know, I took hers. And she called me about a month later saying she was doing a show with Tinga Stewart, Roman Stewart, and a couple of other people. I think some Danny Dredd or some other people, right? Yeah. And I remember going to that show, right? And they when I got there, they sent me to an area where all the artists were sitting. And I remember one of them, and I'm not gonna say which one, but one of them was like, the daughter, we are gonna sing some song tonight. You know, they're not even giving out no real, you know what I say? So
some like Tinga.
Yeah, the daughter, we are gonna sing some song tonight to one thing, and they're like, you know, the daughter, you know, they're not even singing as a real singer. You see what I say? And you know, so I'm like, yeah. So of course, you know, I'm gonna be the first one up, coming the daughter, right?
Okay.
so I'm gonna be the first one up. Nobody knows my name like that because it's a new name now. And you know, when it was time for me to go up here, then all right, go do a liquor thing, you know?
Liquor thing, yeah.
Go do a liquor thing. So I went up there. And I was supposed to do like maybe 3 or so songs. I did my 3 songs, but the third song, which was a Mason Gray song, give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around.
Yeah.
I sang that about 5 times. Gotta keep saying, sing it again, right? And then people start coming and throwing money on the stage. There was a whole lot of money. Lady W's was picking up the money and all of that, and they keep throwing money, and I got about $600 something, right?
Wow.
Good job.
and look, when I finished singing and came off the last time, the final time, the MC called me back and literally just interviewed me right on the stage. You could see the other people them over there that were supposed to be singing like, oh, what do them man call me, watch and everything like. Yeah, because the daughter go up there and go create a star.
Go to your little thing. do our thing. Oh, I love it. This is great.
Once I finished, they treated me different. They treated me totally differently. And Roman Stewart wanted me to start performing at his shows with him. But he died shortly after that. So it was like I did a couple shows with him and he died shortly after. So yeah, I was doing my thing like that, and then I moved to Florida. Moved to Philadelphia. Once I moved to Philadelphia, I created my own label and started doing my own recordings.
Right. And how did that progress for you in terms of doing your own recordings? What had you learned from the industry that made you confident to do that?
Well, one of the things I learned is that you can't just be a singer and be your own producer and not have a lot of money to throw around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized that really fast. But another thing that I realized also was that I didn't know as much as I thought I knew about productions. And so I had to make a lot of mistakes first in order to learn, which I thought, my tune them that I made at first, I thought there was some boom tune, right? Then I come to realize they weren't so boom. After all, and so I learned the ins and out of making a beat, getting a beat made, and what's good in a beat and what's not, and how to really represent on the beat. I learned a lot about that doing my own productions, and I also learned that once you finish doing the singing and putting the beat and the voice and everything together, the greatest part is getting it mixed and mastered, and you have to choose the right people for that. If you don't have the right people for that, then you may as well haven't even started.
That's
exactly.
Right.
I'm always hot about the mixing and mastering. As much as I harp on about it, it's the most important stage of your production. Because I call it the make or break.
Yes, it is, and that's why I'm so proud of my new album, Get Out the Way, because I feel like with all that I've learned, I've implemented in this album, and Get Out the Way is like, I say, move, I'm ready, I'm here, look at me.
You're ready.
You see it.
Well, we have to talk about the album, but before we do that, your career has taken some twists and turns. At some point, you ended up as one of the members of Black Uhuru. Talk to me about that process right there. How did you go? Well, before we get there. First question is, how did your fan base begin to perceive you at this point before you joined in with Black Uhuru? And then lead that into how you got in with Black Uhuru.
Yes.
Well, like the fan base part, but you've never have a fan base. I don't even know. I just know I have some people who love my music and who appreciate it and who supports me. But when it comes to the fan base thing, I don't even know. It's kind of hard to say that I have I even hear to use the word fan. I just think that there are people who support the music and who appreciate it, and I get support that way. But as far as a fan base, I don't even know about that, to be honest.
One of the things you mentioned as we've been talking, is that every time you performed, even though there were majority, the white crowd were cheering for you, people were gravitating towards, as you were known back then, Goldie, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now people are gravitating towards you. How did you perceive that energy?
Well, the only time I feel like there's a fan base for me is when I'm on stage. When I'm on the stage is when I see how people really feel about me. If I was to try and and see that in social media or somewhere. I may not see that, but when I'm on the stage, I see that people really, really are into my music, and they actually show me a lot of love. So that's why I like spending so much time on the stage. When I hit that stage, and I do JoJo Mac. I mean, I have no issues with people loving who JoJo Mac is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you another important question then, because there was a time when you entered the industry before the social media craze, right? And that must have been different to when social media came in. Social media now is a part of life, a part of the artist moving forward as well. How did you take to social media being part of the whole industry and being made aware of?
Well, I think social media kind of mashed up the things for me in a sense, because I saw when people were seeing me live, and when I was living in Washington, D.C., and even in Florida doing my thing before the social media era. Oh my God, people were loving me and I could see it. People were, okay. I actually did a show where my very first show that I did in Washington, D.C., where I was a headliner. It was on a Sunday night at a club that didn't operate on a Sunday night. Right? And it was a popular club. They did not have anything going on Sunday nights. And, the promoter for the show decided, I see people are loving you, so I'm going to put on a show with you as a headliner. And that night, the place held about 3,000 people. And that night, they had to turn people away. And that's when I realized that I do have an impact on people, and people like to see me on stage.
Okay.
Yeah, that much I know, that they love to see me on stage. Once I'm on that stage, they're my fans. Yeah. I don't know when I get off the stage what's next, but once I'm on that stage, I feel like I have a fan base.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a place I kind of like to be most. Even when you mentioned Black Uhuru. I'm going to go into Black Uhuru and tell you about how I started with them first.
Yeah. When
I was in Washington, D.C., I did a show. It was a show with, I think it was, oh my God, I think Ninja Man and a few other people were on that show. And that night, Black Uhuru came. It was at my club, actually. Oh. And Black Uhuru, so I get to open all the shows that happen at my place, right? Right. Black Uhuru came into the place that night just because they were in town, and they came to the show. When Ducky saw me perform, when I finished performing, Ducky Simpson came to me and he said, "Whoa, you're like a horse on that stage, like you have to tie you up." Yeah, and he said, "Do you have a manager?" And I said, "Yes." At the time, I did have a manager. And he said, "Can you meet me here tomorrow?" Like it was a Sunday at about 4 p.m. with your manager. But little did he know that I was going to be there anyway, because it's our club, right? So I told him, "Definitely, I'll meet you." And when I met Ducky, he showed up at 4 o'clock. And before I know it, after that meeting, 2 weeks later, I was in Jamaica making my first album with Ducky Simpson as producer.
Wow.
Okay. What album was that?
It was called Hard and Soft.
Okay.
It was called Hard and Soft. And he was very proud of it. Really, he was. And because the same sentence that he used to me, like Jason Lee from Sonic Sound, I think they mastered that album. And Jason Lee said to me, "Oh, you're the one that Ducky says is like a horse on the stage," because that's what he told them. Because the stage is my place.
Right.
Yeah, I eat up that stage. Yes.
Right. So what was your journey like with Black Uhuru? Because I never got to hear about your journey with them, because after I spoke to you on my show, I think 2016, something like that, things started happening for you in that realm. But I never heard about the journey. What was that like for you?
All right. Well, after meeting Ducky back then, and he made that, I hadn't seen him or heard from him in years, right? So when social media came in and I got on social media, I started looking for him on social media. And I realized that I was getting a lot of roadblock. You know, people would take messages and they wouldn't give it to him. But I had the right line towards him, but they weren't, you know, they weren't giving him the messages. You know, there were people who didn't like me being around Ducky. You know, one of them things I don't take him where I want, you know, but
must be.
They never want me around Ducky, right? So I run into all those roadblocks. But Fitzroy Francis from Mighty Fool 13 Records was
a friend of mine.
Yes, I did some work for a song for Fitzroy, and Fitzroy always looking out for me. You know, anything in the industry that he can see to help me with, he helped me. So at the time, he was like looking out for me. And the singer from Black Uhuru, K-Star, I think, had just left. So he told Ducky, he said, "Look, I have a singer for you." And you know, he told Ducky about me, and Ducky already knew who I was. Okay. But Ducky didn't know me as JoJo Mac. So finally realized that I'm Goldie, right? He still call me Goldie to this day. He don't ever call me JoJo Mac.
Right.
And yeah. And so before, when I met them, when he did the first album for me, he had asked me to sing with Black Uhuru. Because he had a girl named Sensi, and Sensi, I guess, wasn't singing with them anymore, and he wanted me to sing with them. But due to all the facts of me love sing so much, and they only wanted me to sing background vocals, I turned it down. I'm like, nah, I can't just sing background. I want to be out there in front singing. You know, I want to represent, right? So I didn't take that gig. But when Fitzroy came to me in 2014 and told me about that gig, I said I would take it on one condition. And the condition was that I would get to be the opening act as JoJo Mac for Black Uhuru. Okay. So I would go get to do my 3-4 songs or whatever, then sing with Black Uhuru. Right. So that was the reason I took that gig.
So by this time now, so by this time now, what I'm seeing is you had your business head on.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Definitely, and that's why the gig lasted not more than 2 years, because I had my business hat on, and it was always on. In that, you know, for the 2, even though the deal was that I get to be the opening act, and that was the reason I took the gig. I never got to sing a song as opening act.
Never got to.
No. And so after 2 years, I decided, nah, I got to get back to me.
Why was that, though?
I guess we'd have to ask Ducky that one, the question there.
Okay. So you wanted more from just being a pretty face on stage, people just seeing you. Okay.
Yes. And you know what? I thought it was a perfect gig because, let me tell you, if everyone should be honest about it, people were loving me in the Black Uhuru, on the Black Uhuru stage. People were bringing me gifts and telling me how much they love me and wanted to take photos. I've never signed so many autographs in my life. People were, you know, people were just loving me. I remember one of the last gigs I did with Black Uhuru. It was a festival down in Florida. And when we finished singing, you know, we always do an encore for a half hour, and then we go back, we get off for the, you know, don't know, right? When we were back in our tent, people were screaming, Black Uhuru, Black Uhuru, Black Uhuru. And I'm like, wow, they want us back, right? But then, like few seconds later, they were like, JoJo, 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 the whole crowd. And the promoter ran into the tent, and I was like, oh my God, they're screaming JoJo's name out there, and everybody jaw lock up.
Damn.
They weren't feeling that.
And so you perceived threats.
Yeah, man, I don't have too much energy. Me up there go like me a Bob Marley, right? You know, I'm no weaver flash all over the place and I jump up like me a Bob. They never feel that something there.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's my energy. That's my energy. You know what I mean? That's my energy. I feel the music that way. I can't just I can't just stand dancing background like, you know. I can't just red, green, and gold. I can't just do that. I'm all over the place. I'm jumping. Yes. When the guitarist is doing his solo, I'm all up on him with my moves. They don't like that.
Yeah.
But that's my energy.
Let me bring in my sister, because this is what I love. I love the historical part of our history, you know, and boy, if I don't mention Sharon Mango, she would never get that mic. Never.
Well, you know what? That was me in the beginning. This is me. All right, let me let you know, you know, because I'm talking to her. She's got so much to say. All right, so we're going to go back to what we were saying there. So they agreed to, okay, you be the opening act, but evidently the reason why they did not pursue that is because you would have taken over the show. Do you realize that?
I'm not. I wouldn't say it out of my mouth, but
may I tell you?
I get that feeling that, you know, I was shining too brightly.
You was too bright for that. They had to dull it down, and still and all, even when you were singing for him, who was the crowd calling for? JoJo.
Exactly.
So let me just chime in here. Let me just chime in here for a second. Yeah. Sorry to bully the mic from you, Sharon. Sorry. But when you look at the original Black Uhuru, the first lady of Black Uhuru, who sadly passed away, right. I forget her name. What was her name again?
Puma.
Who? Puma. Yes. What was it that you learned from her that you implemented that made you shine so brightly as part of Black Uhuru?
Okay. You know what I realized when I joined Black Uhuru? I realized that there were a lot of people who didn't even realize that Puma was dead.
Okay.
People were actually calling me Puma. I don't know if they didn't notice the difference between the weave and the dreads, right? But they were calling me Puma, and I realized that a lot of the ladies that were there after Puma didn't really get that shine because Puma's name was still predominant in the group. You know, it was still Puma, because even when I was on stage, I had to say, no, this is JoJo Mac.
Right.
I don't know if those other ladies used to say, you know, no, this is me, I know this, you know, but I speak out a lot, no, this is JoJo Mac, and then people started realizing that there's a new girl in the group and her name is JoJo Mac.
Okay.
And one of the things that, you know, I was doing Puma's sounds, I was singing Puma. So everything that we were singing, the songs that we were doing were all Puma's work.
Yeah.
The background vocals, we had to pattern what Puma left. So because they were still doing those songs.
Right.
Now, while I was there was a new album being worked on. And you know, part of the reason to say I don't talk much about my journey with Black Uhuru because it has specks of things that are not so good. And one of the things is that I was there as the background, as a background singer. Me and Ducky are the background singers. I'm the female, right? And they started doing some new songs. I even wrote a couple of them, right? That I thought was going to be put on the album. One of them was put on the album, of course. Stronger, with that Ducky did with Agent Sasko. It was on the album that was nominated for the Grammy recently. Okay. So I wrote that song, and you know, I'm writing and I'm singing with the group, and now they're making new albums, and it was time for me to do background now on these songs because I'm the female in the group, right? Right. But I would say Ducky make other people make him decide to use somebody else to do the background while I'm there.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And when they did that, it left a bad taste in my mouth. So that was part of the reason. And, you know, the person who did it is somebody who literally don't like me. She don't like me, and she started managing the group again. She used to manage a group before, now she stopped managing a group again. She know herself who me attack. She know herself who me talking about. Me not gonna call her. Me not gonna give her the name right now.
Call her name, but you know who she is.
She knows who she is. She got hurt because she's managing this background singer. She got the background singer to do the background on the songs that I'm supposed to be singing, and I wasn't gonna pattern anybody else but Puma. So I knew it was time for me to go.
Okay. Okay.
Because I now I have to pull out my Mac 11 and them something there.
See there?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. And we don't want to see you on no crime scene show, neither.
We don't want to see you on no crime scene.
I'm trying not to laugh. Don't make me laugh, man.
Make me laugh. No, it's funny. You see how people can make you. Listen.
Yes.
Sharon, take over. Don't let me bully up the mic again.
On my new album, I have a song called called Ready to Fight. Fools and clowns, even at my worst, they can't take my crown. I stay on the ready, they can bring me down. If they try to hurt me, I take them down. I'm ready, are you ready to fight?
Yes.
Sharon.
Yes.
Can you hear me, Sharon?
Yes.
Take those boxing gloves off JoJo Mac right now.
Listen, the whole point to this show is say what you have to say. You understand? We're trying to ascertain your journey. Now we know the journey. Don't milk it down. No, butter it up. Tell it like it is, because people.
And you know, with all that said, you know, I will always have love for Ducky, but now I'm come to realize that Ducky don't make all the decisions, because you know when you work with other people, you know, you have to kind of sometimes, depending on your situation in the life, I don't know, you have to kind of gravitate to where them say and listen to what them say, and you know, yeah, that's the only thing I think. I didn't think Ducky stood up for me. That's the only thing I have to say. I didn't think he stood up for me, but no love lost.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't think that he could. I think that his back was against the wall. It was either.
I thought so. I thought so too.
And we don't even know what his situation is. Right? Nobody don't know. So, I mean, they could cut him off too and him not get nothing, but it's all good. It all works according to the plan.
And then I think one of the things too is that when I started singing with Black Uhuru, you know, I went there with big vision, you know? Like, I wasn't seeing the same Black Uhuru that I used to see with Michael Rose.
Right.
I wasn't seeing that militance, right? So I'm like, you know, telling Ducky, yo, we need to bring the militants back and thing, and where you come out here and your trench coat and walking on the stage like we'll kill something, you know? and me and my big mouth, me think some of the guys have never like that. So right away, I start get bad blood from some of them, you know?
I'm assuming Andrew Bees was the lead singer at that time.
Yes.
Okay, say no more.
Yeah, that's all we have to say about that. Say no more about it. It's all right. It's our word. We get it.
Andrew Bees are my friend. But I'm just saying. Big up Andrew Bees.
So when you decided to leave, right?
Yeah.
The songs that you did write, or song that they may have put on the album or whatever they did you get your rights to that? Do you get your royalties off of that?
Oh yeah, I got because everything I write now I register it right away. I copyright, I do everything, and I make sure when I present the song, I present all my copyright information, all my information as far as my registration, numbers and thing for PRS or whatever. That's how I present it, and then I make sure I go to PRS and do my part as well. So I don't just sit and wait for somebody to do what they do. I do my part, to make sure that I get my credit.
Right.
But I did get my credit.
Good, because now that we know that a certain individual is in there, she was going to do what she can to sabotage what you got. But you see, you as a leader from time, you make sure she can't touch you there. So she cannot touch you. But that's all good. So after leaving now, you rediscovering yourself, you're writing new music. Like, where is JoJo Mac going after that? What was your thought processes after that whole experience?
Well, before that, before I left Black Uhuru, because during the time I was with Black Uhuru, I wrote a book, my first book. Yeah, my first book called Secrets, Mixed Up Moods and Deadly Attitudes. It's a fiction. I'm not ready to read it. I'm not really ready to write the story yet, the real deal. This is a book right here, Secrets, Mixed Up Moods and Deadly Attitudes. Yeah. So
what is it about?
Well, it's about 5 women and their friendship. They went to college together, and actually it was supposed to be a book about how friends can be so beautiful, friendship can be so beautiful, and it turned out to be the total opposite side of what is beautiful. It's all about deceit and backbiting and
real life issues.
Yes,
yes. Real life issues. That's real right there.
Yeah, so it seemed real. It's a 346-page book. I was hoping to write 100 and something pages, and it ended up being a 346-page book. And I'm getting very good reviews about it. People are loving it actually, and I've since done part 2 of it, which is Secrets Unmasked.
You ain't ramping.
Well, listen, it's when she didn't have time for
Netflix.
Hold on. Next, a movie coming up.
I'm hoping so, Sharon Mango.
No, it's coming. If you got that far, because we were just talking about Black Uhuru, I'm like, what was that whole experience? She said, well, I write the books in the book here. Oh, here is number 2.
As a matter of fact, when I was with Black Uhuru, when I was on tour with them, I did a tour with them on East Coast, West Coast tour. I had my book on tour. So when I was finished singing on stage, the road manager would be selling the books while I'm singing. And when I'm finished singing, he would have a table where people would come and get their book signed and stuff like that. I remember one lady actually gave me her wedding band when I was on stage. And I realized it was a wedding band she gave me. And when she came to get her book signed, I'm like, you're the one who gave me this ring. And she said, yeah. She said, it's my wedding band. This is my husband. And I'm like, I can't take your wedding band. And she's like, no, I love you. Please take it. And I'm like, no. I said, tell you what, we're coming back here next year. So why don't you just hold on to this and get something else for me that, you won't have to, that don't have so much memories. And she was like, okay, then, I love you. And, I love it.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sharon's face is a sight.
I'm like,
people are actually bringing me gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are actually bringing me gifts. And I remember, they want to touch my hand when I'm on stage. Ducky said to me, mind them pull you off of the stage, But they're like, okay, that's okay. I don't think I'm going further on the ground. You know what I mean?
Real super duper.
I love it.
So when you're writing these books now, are you still in your music mode? Is it just when you're downtime, you just started to write? Like, what inspired you to go write that book?
Well, what inspired me was years of wanting to write a book, because I just knew I could write a book. Because when I was in high school, I was that kid that wrote the essay that they would put in the library.
Okay.
that would get a place in the library, you know, stuff like that. So I always wanted to write a book, and I was reading Mills and Boone since I was like 9 years old.
Okay, Mills. Yeah.
Right, and you know, I living in Philadelphia here, I would go to the library and borrow five novels, and I would read them within a 2-week period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then one day I'm like, you know, okay, I was doing an interview. With me always wanting to write the book, I was doing an interview, and Andre Porter, who is also he wrote a couple of books. He lives in Philly, and I was talking about how I edited a book for a lady once, and somehow Andre connected with me and asked me if I could edit some kind of transcripts that he made from a book. I think he wanted to turn the book into a movie or something, right? So he asked me if I could edit it. So I edited for him. You know, I remember he asked me how much you charge, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna charge. I'm just gonna do it because it was like 105 pages or something. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna charge you because I see you're trying, you know, and I don't mind helping, you know.
Yeah.
And I took his book and I edited for him and stuff. And then when I was doing his book, I said to myself, but here I am editing Andre's book. I'm like, I can write this. I can write this, right? So after I finished, I decided, you know what? I'm going to just start writing a book. And that's when I actually started. And I was so excited when I finished. I sent the book to Andre's page, kind of surprised him. I know Andre no said and like it, I know. Until now, Andre, may I bust you out. Until now, you don't say you like the book after I help you with yours, right? You couldn't even say congratulations, right? Yeah, seriously. I was a little disappointed in that. So I'm never bother contact Andre no more. But kind of just, you know, push him to the side.
You were doing a little free service, and so you did a little free service. Now you're trying
I hope
to
he
do your
gets
own
to see
thing.
this interview.
Our faces are like, yeah. We are going though. So, but you know what? You live and you learn, and you know who's really in your corner from who isn't in your corner.
Yeah, because I wanted to let him know
that
his book was an inspiration that actually got me to this point. But I never got to do that because it never showed me no love, you know?
Well, that's okay too. That's what we're gonna say. That's all right. Joe. I'm just saying she's a ball of energy. She's everything, and 2 books. The most unique artist we've ever had on this platform. She did this, she did that. Yeah, let me write 2 books in her spare time. I mean, who says that?
That's it.
Who said that? Who says that? I am have 2 books in her. Yes, I mean, who says that?
You know what it takes to even write 1 book.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? She wrote 2 books.
I'm in the process of just trying to get through my first book. Because I am doing my little bits and pieces. But I'm like, Jesus, I need help with this.
The second book is like 298 pages. And it took me 8 months to write. 8 months.
Did you have a ghostwriter?
Oh no, I'm the ghostwriter.
Oh wow!
Listen, was editing other people's work. She's trying to do it herself. It's more than salute. It's more than salute.
I'm the ghostwriter.
I need to hire you as my ghostwriter then. Go on, Sharon, do your thing.
I have a lot more books to write about my journey, but you know, I want the ending to be phenomenal. So I'm not writing that book just yet.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's, you know what? We understand that it's in the progress because you're gonna have to really write down your journey because you are such an inspiration. And will continue to be an inspiration to many of our Black females out there who's sitting down thinking, you coming like you never had a chance to sit down. That's what I'm saying. You coming.
I don't like to. I don't know how to sit down. I don't know how to sit down. Even watching TV, I have to be on my tablet doing something.
Yeah.
My fingers have to be moving. I have to be doing something. I can't just even sit and watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm not doing something, I'm fidgety. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't really know how to sit down. Just sit down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And once I get started on something, you know, sometimes it will take me a while to jumpstart. But once I get started, I'm not finished till I'm not moving till I'm done. Mm-hmm. Like I started on my third book, which is also a fiction. It's called Jamaican Gangster Girl. And I'm hoping that one will come out by next year. I'm almost finished with that. I probably have about 2 or 3 chapters left to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm still writing. I'm still writing the books. I'm writing the songs and, you know, yeah.
So now you got the book going on. You're now, JoJo Mac is doing what now? So your new album's coming. Are you writing towards a new album? Like what happens after your book? Where are you going now? You still
I just released a new album in February called Get Out the Way. I was telling you about that. Mm-hmm. On my label, Fire and Ice Records. Mm-hmm. Fire and Ice, yes. Mm-hmm. And so that's my newest project, Get Out the Way. Mm-hmm. My album before that was one that I co-produced with Trevor Elliott on his label. What's his name label again? Oh my God.
Musical Ambassador.
Musical Ambassador, yes. Mm-hmm. So that was one that was in 2017. We released that album. And that album, wow, is all reggae. It's all reggae, 10 star, all reggae, no fusions, right?
No.
No fusions. But this new album, Get Out the Way, is a mixture of a lot of fusions, rock, pop, and, you know, before I used to think that, you know, well, the other albums, they were okay. This one, even though the frequency in the music has changed, because you notice the frequency change, you know, especially in dancehall and thing and whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
Is a new little thing with the beat barely there and all that ping, 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 bang, 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 bang. And everybody's approaching the beat the same way. It's like you listen to one song and you hear all the other songs, right? Mm-hmm. It's like one song, you know, running to the next, and all the songs are just one song because everybody sound the same. Everybody approach the beat the same way, and that's what's going on. Well, my album has changed the frequency back to the norm with a little twist.
Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do at this point. Yeah. I'm gonna play one track from Trevor Elliott's album, which is called Blueprint, right?
Yes.
Which he did with Trevor Elliott, and he's my good friend from way back when. So I'm gonna play that. I'm just gonna play a few tracks, and then I'm gonna lead it into a track from your new album, which is called Get Out the Way, and I'm gonna play a track from that called Now Surrender. Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, man. Take a listen.
Try again another life. You could cry me a river, but you can't be my friend. I know you have an agenda, cause I see how you pretend. You act like you are amazing. Everything I do, you're praising. Always, you're my first responder. But now I know you're undercover. I see you. You are a pretender. You are a pretender. The Live Conversation Show. I see them coming at me without any uncertainty. opportunity that they would kick my legs from under me. Deem me useless, but I ain't going out like that. I'm about
The Live Conversation Show.
be here till the last bomb drop. I'll fight and never stop. There will be no white flag above my door. I won't surrender. I won't surrender. There will be no retreating or lay my weapons down. I won't surrender. I won't surrender. Yes, I found a way to be one with my inner strength, and now the world will see I'm not my innocence. I try to pick my battles, but never got to pick the war. Just know I will not buckle. I live to wear my scars. There will be no white flag above my door. I won't surrender. I won't surrender. There will be no retreating or lay my weapons down. I won't surrender. I won't surrender.
Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown, and you're in tune to SPRB Radio, the station with integrity. Remember me tell you, Lloyd Brown giving full endorsement to the team. See? So SPRB Radio, and I beg you, kick it to it. Let's go.
Yes.
You know that Nah Surrender song?
Yeah.
That was produced by Fitzroy Francis.
Oh,
For his
really?
For his Mightyful 13 label, and we did a remix on it. So he's co-producer on the remix as well. Yes.
Okay. Well, big up my friend, Mightyful 13, Fitzroy Francis.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and the first one that was from the Blueprint album called Pretender. That's one of my favorites on the album, actually.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's
just
so
so that
real, it's so
people know,
real.
just so that people know, Fitzroy Francis used to be the road manager for Black Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Used to be.
The history entangled, you know?
Yes.
Used to be.
Yes.
Yes, I hear that don't used to be.
Right?
Continue, Sharon. Continue.
Oh my gosh.
I see Sharon. I light up.
Yes, I was like, well, you know what? It's the simple fact that it's amazing how things get entangled and how you meet people, you know what I'm saying? How you meet people along the way. And boy, JoJo Mac, I don't know if I say again, because I'm just shocked about the books, number one, that she found time to write these books.
On the third book.
Right, you're doing your music.
It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of late nights, Sharon.
Well, you know what? That's my whole thing, because I realized that that's not an easy task. You're doing so many things, and it has to be late nights. You stay up on these things on your mind, and you do it. You know what I'm saying? But you did it, JoJo Mac. You did it, and it's just like you're ready for the world now. You're ready for them. You know what I mean?
Sharon, I'm telling you, I felt so ready for so long. You know, sometimes I would be listening to the radio, and you know, I hear the same songs playing over and over and over again, and I can't hear a JoJo Mac song, and I'm like, who do I have to work to get my song played, right? And
I get it. Yes.
And you know, I'm like, I know I'm making good songs, and you know, that brings me now to 10 Star to the news reports. That's how come I started creating the news reports.
Right.
Because I was like, you know, I can't hear JoJo Mac songs on the radio, and I think they deserve a little hair play, right? And I'm thinking, what can I'm like, okay, I don't have a big label behind me pushing me, so outside of having that big label to push me, what do I need to do? And so I started listening to a lot of radio stations, the reggae stations from all over the world. I started listening because now you can listen online, everything from wherever, right? Yeah. And so I started listening, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could offer them something, and then I could get my song played. Except work, right? and then and I could get my song played, and so I created the entertainment news, the buzz with Pistol. I started calling myself Pistol because what I did was, at first I did it for a brethren of mine. I told a brethren of mine that he had a radio show, and I told him, I said, why don't you start doing a news report? And he was like, oh, I don't have nobody to do it. And so I gave him the idea to do it, and he started having his daughter do it, but that wasn't working out. And then I said I would do it live for him. And I started doing it live for him, but a lot of times he forgot to call me because him not really in tune with him thing, like that. So he forget to call me, say 10 minutes after the news will start, and even 15, 20, 30 minutes after, and nothing now go on. So I got tired of it, and I had to stay up late for it, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna find a way to get my music played, and this is one way I could get it played. I noticed that a lot of the radio stations did not have news. It's just music, and talks. And so I decided to create the buzz. I created the buzz, and I started attaching a song that I want to promote on it as a sponsor track. So I started sending out the news, and people were asking me, how much we get the news? We like the news. How much for each episode and whatever? And I'm like, this is what I want to do. I don't want money. I want airplay. And so I decided, put the track on it, and I send it to them. At the end, they have to play the track in order to, to get the news. In order for them to continue getting the news. And so I've been doing that for a while. I have like 72 stations in 8 countries now. That's playing the news with my song on it. I was told the other day that if I should do a show in London, that a lot of people would know my songs, and they would know who JoJo Mac is, because my music is played all the time because of the news reports. Right. I think I have 6 stations in London that actually plays it, the news, including Vibes FM and some other people.
Brilliant idea.
That was a great idea. Yeah, it's a very good idea.
Because I tell you what, I actually called Michelle Alferton recently, and I said, Michelle, I want you to do a news report for me. And she said, I have somebody who does a news report. I'm pretty sure you know her. I said, who is it? And she said, JoJo Mac. I said, oh, yes.
Yes.
Because I remember.
I do the news report for her. Big up Michelle Arthur Tan.
That's right.
Big up to Michelle.
Yes.
Beautiful lady.
Such a beautiful
And I said, we have to bring you back. And that's how we got you back on the show, because she said, and I love your news report. That's why we're, as a matter of fact, I was saying to Sharon, we're going to play this news report at the beginning of every show. Every time we bring a new episode, that is what we're going to be playing, and it will lead into your new song.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because I also do. I people were asking me, "Oh, do you do the headline news as well?" So I started doing the headline news as well, and the headline news comprises of news from Jamaica, mainly news from Jamaica, and other Caribbean areas, and a little bits and pieces from the rest of the world, but mainly from the Caribbean, Jamaica. You know what I mean? So it's the headline news with Pistol. And it's the buzz, the entertainment news with Pistol.
Yeah. So let me hear. So we have DJ Maestro in the building. He said he's heard of JoJo Mac's news report and so forth. Is that something that you'll be interested in, DJ Maestro? Putting you on the edge here. Unmute and let me hear your views on JoJo Mac's news report.
You're putting me on you're putting me on the spot now. I have to go through the management on the station. But I mean, Good. Sunday blessings, everybody. Sunday blessings.
Yeah, bless us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, to me, it is a good idea, and as JoJo Mac says, you know, that's a good way of obviously hearing reports around the Caribbean, and obviously hearing your tunes. Because, as I said just now in that chat, I've been listening to him for years when Mr. Mighty on Vibes FM was playing your report and playing your tunes. So I don't want to put any years on it because I don't want you to hit. I don't want you to block me up or something like that. But it was quite some years ago. So you know, I've been listening to you for years, and you know your energy is outstanding. But going back to what Ten Star's saying about, I mean, yeah, I think it's a good idea with the news report. I mean, it's something I can obviously bring. I'd have to bring it to the station, but yeah, I would do it. It's you know, we need to get the music out there. You know, we need to get it out there, and I mean, maybe a lot of people don't know who you are, but I know who you are. So, you know, as DJs, that's what we do. We have the easy part. We have the easy part of playing the tunes. You know, right. The difficult part is,
you know, Maestro, DJs are actually superstars. You know, and you guys are the game changers, really, because you are the ones who decide who gets played and who doesn't, and. You know, you can make or break artists, and I think you have a big job on your hand in deciding, you know, what's real and what's not, and what's worthy of being played. Right. And I mean, you know, that's a big decision.
Yeah, that's correct. Because I mean, the love of what I do for my show, I can play what I want. You know, it's not like, you know, you go into other stations where they're limited to a playlist as such. So I mean, you know, for me, yeah, I can, you know, if anybody brings a song to me, and I can bring it into my show. As you know, 10 Star can vouch for me as the kind of music I play.
I'm an addict. I'm a DJ Maestro addict.
You know, I've listened to a lot of radio, and you know, some of the people I've set my music to, when you know I would be listening to them, and I'm like, I'll reach back out to them and like, oh, come on, I didn't hear you play the song, and I said, and they'd be like, oh, it didn't fit into the playlist. What? They don't fit into playlist. It's radio. You can play whatever you want.
Exactly, right. Exactly. I mean, I know you've done so many different songs, but I must admit, the one I love the most is the one that Stormy Nights.
Stormy Nights.
You know, I mean,
thank you.
I mean, I know you know, Roland Burrell's done that one, but your version is a wicked version.
Thank you so much. You know, let me give you a little history about that. When I did Stormy Night in 2017, do you know it went to number 2 on the whole genre chart with Beyonce and them.
And Sean Paul,
Jay-Z,
isn't it?
And number Sean 2, Paul? Yes.
And Sean Paul as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
It did big things, but you know, sometimes people don't look out for us that way, and when they hear it's a Sean Paul or somebody like that, it's all over the place. When it's a JoJo Mac, that people don't hear it as clearly.
Yeah,
right.
That's why we have to, you know, let the world know who JoJo Mac is or other artists are. This, you know, we have to bring it to the people then.
See it.
I tell you what I am gonna do. I'm gonna share your contact with JoJo Mac and DJ Maestro, so that you know she can be added to your catalog at some point.
Most
you know,
definitely. I'd love that. Thank you.
Man. Yes, that's cool. All right, then. We'll talk soon then.
All right, DJ Maestro. Thanks for dropping in.
I will do. I'll let Sharon and you know, 10 Star carry on with the show.
Thank you, DJ
Maestro. I love him.
All right.
Thank you so much.
That's our DJ right there, DJ Maestro from Lovers Rock Radio. We love him.
Yeah, we claim him.
Yes, I know.
He knows
DJ
that
Maestro.
We claim him. Yeah.
He's saying he knows of JoJo Mac. I know of DJ Maestro.
There you go.
DJ Maestro, she know about you. Yes.
Yeah. Continue, Sharon. Continue.
Well, so what is new on the horizon for you right now? Because you have your hand in different things and it seems to be working. You know what I mean? I think you're very methodical in your thinking as well. You don't just say, oh, let me just try this. Whatever you try, it works. So what is new on the horizon?
Sharon, ask her if her brain stops ticking at any point.
Well, you don't hear what she did say it already. She just don't keep still, no stop.
Well, I don't think my brain stops ticking because every night I dream.
Well, at least you dream.
Every night I have a dream. Yes, I swear. Every night I have a dream. It's like every single night. And a lot of times the dreams consist of people in the industry dreams. It goes on even when I'm sleeping, right?
Right.
I'm gonna go back a little bit to that Blueprint album.
Yeah.
I noticed that VP Records has been promoting the hell out of that album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not one of VP albums. It's not one of VP Records albums because I'm not signed to VP, and I'm not talking about VPAL that distributes for independent artists.
Right.
I'm talking about VP Records, the big deal part of the company, right? They have been promoting that everywhere I turn, on Yahoo, on Google, wherever, MSN, anywhere I turn, I see it being promoted by VP. It looks like it's their biggest album they must sell. I mean, I don't know how them get my album, but you know, we made a call to VP once to find out, you know, because I asked Trevor Elliott, you give the record to VP, and he was like, no, himself VP 20 copies back in 2018. So I called VP and I'm like, oh my God, I see you're promoting JoJo Mac's album and Ray, and Ray, she signed to you. And they said, no, we bought about 20 copies. And so we're trying to sell them. Nobody now promote that art for 20 copies. Nobody's promoting that art for 20 copies. Everywhere I look, it's in the Gleaner. It's in the Star. It's everywhere. And VP has never once called JoJo Mac for saying, we love your album and we want to do something with you or nothing, right? So I don't know. I can look at it two ways, like may get some promotion for the album, but somebody has sell something I don't know about. Someone know about my something there. Yeah.
Oh, vampire.
Not me, I said the vampire leverage.
And I know that in order for VP to lock on on it the way them lock on it, they must see it as a good album. And if they see it as a good album, why don't they contact the artist or somebody?
That's what's the strange part. Like, what exactly are they getting out of? You're not signed to them. What exactly are they getting out of this thing?
Yeah, so they're putting this great amount of promotion into that one album.
That's interesting.
I know a very good liar.
Stop my one.
That's all I'm saying.
They just feel like something is happening. They're gonna watch the floor still.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta wait a little bit and see what's going on, you know?
Yeah, that's just true. And that's what you're gonna have to do because again, the music belongs to you. Them can't thief it. Them can't
exactly.
Them can't thief it. All right.
And I'm not only just the artist on that album, I'm also a co-producer. So at some point, somebody had to talk to me. Somebody have to talk to me, right?
They ain't got no choice, girl.
Because I'm thinking, I'm not choice. I'm have to talk to you after a while. So, well,
you just wait for the call there, you know?
We're back in the prehistoric days when, people didn't know about the industry or the business, So things have changed somewhat, and
that's especially interesting. That's very interesting. I've never heard that.
Right, and you ask what's going on now with the music and everything. But like I said, the album is new. That's out. The Secrets Part 2, the book Unmasked, was came out last year in April. So that's still new, so to speak. And you know, I'm just ready for the stage again now that the place open up. You know, I'm ready for the stage. I'm ready to go out there and do my thing. So, you know, the promoters them can start calling. It's JoJo Mac Bookings at gmail.com. You can drop something in there. So it's easy to remember JoJo Mac Bookings, Mac without the K. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's all. I just want to get on the stage shows now. That's about it. You know, more show. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
JoJo Mac to the globe.
To the globe. She's ready for the stage.
That's my favorite place to be.
I know it's a great place to be, actually. I know what that feels like.
One of the things I love about being on the stage is that someone will see me in Washington, D.C. and, perform. And they'll hear that I'm in New Jersey doing a show, and they'll drive all the way to Jersey to come to the Jersey Shore. Oh, wow. You know what I mean? So people who... there's one lady here that she saw me in Philly. I was in Jersey doing a show, a Mother's Day show, and she showed up with her crew. Like, we hear you, dear. We gotta come see you. People love what I do on the stage, but they don't get to see me enough. Right. You know, because a lot of times they're looking at the more popular people like the Tanas and the Queen Ifrikas, but they don't understand that there's a JoJo Mac out here that just eat up the stage just as well, and would, you know, be giving them the same or better kind of vibe. It no matter we're there, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question, and the question is this. With the aid of social media, because we're in that social media era in time, how are you using that to your benefit in terms of the promotion and the marketing side of JoJo Mac?
Okay, well, I realize that with the era of social media and trying to promote myself and my music, I'm not showing my butt. I'm not, the skin out kind of girl. I'm not putting anything negative out there, and I'm not putting anything about my life out there. I'm not sharing my life with people the way a lot of people seem to be sharing theirs. And when you're not doing that, people seem to not have that much interest in you. You know, you have to come. People are not gravitating towards positive things these days. Most people are gravitating towards a negative, and those people who will like the positive, they don't support as much. So the ones who are doing the supporting are the ones who are getting the support are the ones who are doing the negative things, because they have their negative people who are supporting them. But the people who talk positive, they don't support the positive artists.
Right.
So we're at a disadvantage. Somebody like a JoJo Mac is at a disadvantage, because I'm not going to show my butt, and I'm not going to tell my life, I'm not going to talk about my sex life. I'm not going to talk about who I'm dating or not dating. I'm not going to put I'm not even know what I eat or drink. So
one of the good things is I've seen a lot of your pictures that you do, and they are pretty awesome. I love how you promote yourself, if I may. I'm just going to see if I can share my screen somehow. I'm trying to remember how I do that. Bear with me a second. And
share screen.
Hold on. Share screen, and then I get into the website. I'm trying to learn how I get back into the website. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Bear with me. Let me see if I can get into. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
I saw it just now, yes.
Okay. All right. Bear with me. Here we go. Hold on. I want to just see if you can see this particular.
See the Queen there?
Queen, come off on the screen.
Queen Elizabeth, the my screen.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna see if we can get onto my screen. See that picture right there?
Yes.
Hold on. That's JoJo Mac.
Look at her. Yeah, no, I saw that picture anyway. I did see that. I like that one. I was like, is that JoJo?
See that picture there?
Yeah,
that is JoJo Mac.
Absolutely.
That's the most I gotta see. Look at legs.
No, yeah, you have to start a trend.
But the leg them look good. The way I talk about, see them leg there? Yeah, them leg they look good.
And I tell you what, the trend name, fully clothed.
Fully clothed.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, yeah, man, I don't believe in that less is more thing at all times. You know, I just feel like, you know, I grew up in the church, yeah, and like I said, I grew up learning how, you know, to always cross my legs,
right,
and to be a lady, and I'm not gonna let social media or, you know, the hype gets me outside of my skin.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you know, I notice that these days too, a lot of people are you know, doing the body, you know, them getting their body done and
enhancements.
Yes, me not have me treat me like a tool, like a body cheeks, you know, and you know what I mean. Yeah, I
JoJo Mac, hold on. JoJo Mac, put out your hand. Just put your hand out like so.
I knew that was coming. Yeah, you know, if I have to do all of that, you have to change up my body in order for you to recognize my music. Then I don't think my music is gonna ever get recognized.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's about time that people start seeing people for the talent and not the body that they got made.
Yeah.
Or you know, how much cursing I can do and who I can cuss out, and you know what I mean. You know, how much I can tell about my life, you know, who I'm dubbing and who dubbing me, you know. I think there's so much more to what real talent is and all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also don't sing about my body parts, not in that sense.
Yeah.
So I like to sing music about what's going on in life. You know, a little party music here and there don't hurt nobody. You know what I mean? And
you're right. No,
one of the things I notice is missing too is people don't do love songs anymore because there's not a lot of love in the world. And yeah, so, you know, I think that there's so much missing from the music. And if I have to go that direction, you know, to do all of that extra stuff, I don't know if I'm ever gonna be the one, you know what I mean? Because I refuse to go that extra mile to suit people who just want to see negative or the raunchy, you know what I mean?
Of course. And that is the biggest struggle for I mean, a lot of artists nowadays. It's just recognizing what real talent is, right? It's recognizing what real talent is and what does it take for you to get there. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to use me as an example, just as an example. If it would take me till me as 100, I consider that selling your soul. A woman is not supposed to be talking about her body parts because then you leave nothing for the imagination. If you get on the stage and I say, what me have, what me skin out, and what me do, by the time somebody really gets you, they already know what you got. You're almost like, I'm sorry, it's almost like you're used goods because you don't tell everybody what you have.
Exactly.
You don't tell people what you can do, you're used then. So there's nothing left for the imagination. So what does that mean to society? That eventually will get boring. It eventually will mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? It will mean nothing in the society. So you doing what you're doing, don't stop, because your day's coming. You're ahead of the game already, and you've already chosen to not sell your soul, because that's what I call it. You're not ready to sell your soul just to be out there.
Exactly. Like I have the show coming up in on July 2nd in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's a festival, a reggae festival with Sister Nancy and Red Rat and a few other people, along with quite a few reggae artists, bands and stuff. And I was rehearsing for that show the other day, and I'm like, wow, I realized that my catalog that I have is just filled with a lot of inspirational music, a lot of reality stuff. And, I'm like, wow, I'm doing like 45 minutes on that show. And I have enough tunes that I could do a festival and do 2 hours of music that inspires people. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't want to change that and talk about, the other kind of stuff that everybody seems to be gravitating to, because I don't think that kind of music has any longevity. And,
no, it doesn't.
Right, and you have to think about your legacy in the long run. What do you want to leave behind when you go?
100%. So you're on the right track. I mean, what did you say that festival is? The July?
July 2nd, the day after my birthday, actually.
I knew she was one of us, B.
She's a Cancerian.
One of us.
Yes.
So we are Cancers.
When's your birthday, Mango?
Mine is the June 28th.
Okay, cool, though.
10 star is
June 25.
She's 25.
You just barely made it over.
Yes.
You just make it, but we unite.
For real.
I knew it. I was like, this girl, I feel her energy, her whole spirit. She's probably a Cancer. I don't know. It turns out that way. So
I do get along with Cancerians very well.
Right.
Because we're real, we're real.
We're very real. Yeah.
Right.
And we're very passionate about whatever we do.
Absolutely. Well, we are
Extremely.
clearly leaders.
Extremely.
For real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're going to bring this show to a close.
We are, unfortunately, but yes.
And one of the things I want to touch upon is the fact that you've written for quite a few artists. The first time I came to realize you wrote for a few artists was when I was in a conversation with Chakademus, and he told me that you were one of the writers of these songs, So who else have you written for?
Well, okay. I wrote for Chakademus. You were talking about that I wrote for Black Uhuru as well. And you were talking about ghostwriting.
Yeah.
I've done quite a bit of that. But when you're ghostwriting, you can't chat about it, right?
All right.
Yeah. So I've done some ghostwriting. I mean, on some really big projects. Okay. Yeah, well, I can't offer them out. They might come take back the money.
Right, I'm with you. So the main thing I'm trying to grasp from this is that you've written for quite a few people in the industry, and you're one of the most formidable writers in our industry.
I can't hear you.
You are one of the most formidable writers in our industry for many artists. You hear me?
Yes.
So I want people to grasp that and know that about JoJo Mac. Okay, even though you may not know who some of these people are.
Say that again.
Even though some people may not even realize that part of you.
Exactly. A lot of people realize that I write books, but they don't realize that I'm a songwriter that just don't write for myself. I write for others as well. But in this industry, there are a lot of people who like to say they write their own songs, and sometimes they pay well to be able to do that.
Precisely. Enough said. Precisely. They would like people to think that.
Not calling no names, by the way. Not calling no names.
We get it.
But you have some of them that won't give the credit, even though you didn't ghostwrite for them. They still don't want to give you your credit because I've heard someone that I wrote a song for talk about. Then they ask them, where did you come up with this song? What were you doing when you came up with this idea? And they're like, boy, I was sitting so and so. He wasn't sitting nowhere because he didn't write it.
You were nowhere.
No, they do that.
Well, tell you what, Sharon, let's bring this show to a close. You do your thing.
My friend. So, JoJo Mac, my new friend in a Philly. She just crossed the water. My new friend in a Philly. Yes, sister. He's here.
I endorse that, Mango.
Yes. It has been an honor and a pleasure getting into your history, which is multifaceted. It's so much and it's just growing. It was just an honor talking to you today. I wish you the very best, and I'm going to be watching, my new friend. I'm going to be watching, and I'm going to check you out in a Philly too. Or when you come to Jersey, call me up. You can come to my house.
I will, most deaf. I'm going to add you to my friends list.
Yes.
And that's a very short list.
Very,
very short list.
You make sure you do that because my door is 100% open to you. So blessings upon blessings.
You.
I wish for you, my sister. You're amazing. And you're just an amazing inspiration as well. Really.
Thank you so much, Sharon Mango. Thank you, 10-Star General. Thank you, DJ Maestro, for dropping in. I so respect that. And thanks to everyone for listening. Know that I can be found on social media, JoJo Mac, JoJo Mac 11 on social, on Facebook. Yep. The Bad Singer Girl on Twitter. JoJo Mac Music on Instagram, and JoJoMacMusic.com is my website, along with FireNiceRecords.com as well. So I can be for my music is out there. The new album is out there. Please go give the new album a listen. Go ahead, if you like it, buy it, because it's really good music. It's music that you can play for your great grandchildren and great grand down the road. It's inspirational. It's fun. There's a lot of dance music in there, things you can actually dance to nowadays, because we're not getting much that we can dance to. So now, these are still songs you can dance to. And my book is out there. My book, Secrets, Mixed Up Moods and Deadly Attitudes, and Secrets Unmasked Part 2. If you buy Part 1, you have to buy Part 2 because the story doesn't end at Part 1. And thank you guys so much for having me. I just wish some promoters are listening right now, and the phone start ringing, getting the dates for me to be in your city.
We recommend JoJo Mac to the max. Let's see if I don't know if Rankin Ann has a question for JoJo Mac before we exit the building. If you do,
good afternoon,
Rankin Ann.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, Rankin Ann, welcome.
Hi, JoJo Mac.
Hey.
Listen, I am so impressed with you, sister.
Thank you.
Your energy has left me flat on my back. You've worn me out this Sunday.
Oh, thank you.
I'm telling you, I so much respect for you. And, what I love about what I've heard about, because I did miss the first part of the show, unfortunately, but what I've heard about you is that you just have this kind of a different way of approaching life, and I think sometimes when you have that kind of strength and uniqueness, sometimes people are afraid of that. And I think some of the barriers that you've seen over the years is just that strength, that energy, uniqueness. People are afraid of that, you know, but, you know, I love the way you just don't let that get in your way. You know, you just keep going. And I respect the fact you're an author, because writing is something I always say to people, you must write, because we all have at least one book in us. And you've got at least, you've got your 3 and more to come. So, you know, JoJo Mac, as I said, it's a new name to me, but trust me, I just feel your energy. It's just so strong. It's so vibrant. And the picture that Tensar just showed, you know, you look like a fantastic, fabulous woman. And people fear that we, you know, when we're fantastic and fabulous, fear that we see, you know, fear that we.
Thank you so much. I'm here hearing you for the first time too, but I'm not going to forget you and forget this encouragement. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, my dear, and just keep going strong, because I know you're strong. I see your strength and we feel your strength, and just keep going. And the massive break will come. It will come. And ask to Miss Mango, because she had the seer. She's sitting, but she'll tell you, say,
yes, tell her about it. Ranking on the city. For real.
All the best, JoJo Mac. All the best for the future. You take care.
Thank you, Rankin, and I so appreciate you.
Big love. Take care. Take care, Tensar and Miss Mango.
Thank you.
Have a good Sunday.
All right, love. Bye-bye.
Oh, wow. How does that make you feel, JoJo?
Oh, man. You know, especially coming from a sister, it is really special because, you know, we don't show each other enough love. And when I get it from a sister, I embrace it all the way. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We promote that all the time. I'm so much.
Yes. I love it. I love it when women support each other, because I'm a big supporter of women, you know. Even, you know, I'm even a supporter of the women that are doing the negative things, because I'm trying to support them into doing the right things. I don't try to speak negative. What I try to do is for them to see the other side of things. And yes, I love it when women support each other. So I thank you so much, Rankin Ann, for that support. Mango, you're special. You're Julie, you're all kind of mango wrapped up in one.
See, that's what I'm saying. Precisely.
You're East India, you're West India, you're all of that. I so appreciate you.
All of them.
You know, Millie Mango, we had a Millie Mango tree that is very unusual and very special mango. Millie Mango.
Millie Mango?
Yes. When you ask what kind of mango it is, you're a Millie Mango. Yeah.
I'll take it. That's right. To represent all of them.
Anyway, we're going to end the show. And, you know, thank you for coming on the show and making it special. There's many people out there that do love and adore you that I know personally. And we just want to inspire you to just keep on, you know, doing your thing. Because regardless of who is showing you accolades to who is not showing you, just know that there's many of us out there that do admire your works, you know?
Thank you so much.
Don't stop until you drop. Until you drop, you know?
That me say. All day long, that's what I say. All day long. You know, I don't know certain words like give up and quit, and they're not in my vocabulary.
See that?
Yes. And you know, one last thing I gotta say is this: that you know. People start losing their voice or something, and the people not singing as strongly as, oh man, I get stronger with every year. But I find more voice with every year. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with me.
Yeah.
But them have to go let me in, so because we're not going nowhere.
Well,
Amen.
like I said, Amen. Amen. It's coming. It's a come.
JoJo Mike, we're gonna let you sing us a little song. Anything you want to sing us.
Oh, we're in the fight for life, you know. We're rising up. Some people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and want us to flop. We gotta hold on to the ball, can't let it drop. Fighting for our lives out in the street. Why do we feel hunted on every beat. They call it law and order, but that's not how I see it. I see my people dying, now I know why they do it. Fighting for our souls. It's a battle, the rainbow's gold. Seems so hard to get to. Some people think this fight is getting really old, but the war never stops, so we can't fold. We're rising up. Some people don't like that. They're afraid of us getting to the top. They know our abilities and want us to flop. We gotta hold on to the ball, can't let it drop. Yeah, fight for life. That myself.
Yes.
JoJo Mac, God bless you, my sister. And we are going to get out of the building right now. And thank you for everyone who supported us. God bless each and every one. Sharon,
bye-bye. Take care.
JoJo Mac, we're out of here. DJ Maestro, Rankin, blessings. All right.
Yes.